What's going
Welcome.
on, mate?
John, honestly, just listening to our masters and mixes, right? The last, literally just finished that in a voice chat with the lads, and yeah, getting there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. You must be stoked.
Oh, mate, 100%. Get much feedback
Cool.
from playing your song, getting your song played last night?
Yeah, really good actually. Yeah, a few people commented and yeah, we didn't really know that was going to happen until sort of our PR guy called me, Dicey, you know Dicey, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, he called me and just said, "Oh, do you mind? It's a bit last minute, but do you mind if Hogue plays it tonight? It's a bit of a premiere." I'm like, "Yeah, it's cool." So rush job over the socials and yeah, some really good feedback. People saying it sounds really heavy and that, people were definitely commenting on the fact that my like vocals are a lot heavier now.
Yeah, see.
And stuff like that. So but yeah, I'll let Ian do the talking, I think.
Making my job real fucking easy. You keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Welcome, everybody. This is going to be heavily weighted towards both of you guys have got albums coming out on same day, March 21st, I believe.
Mm, that's
And
right.
then you've both got the show as well at the Gov. Okay, so it's going to be talking about that. And hopefully we'll get some content that obviously I can go and write up on an interview aspect, and then maybe try and get some things as well with some reels that we can kind of get out there, like some 30 seconds, 45-second things that we can kind of push the show as sell some more tickets for you guys as well. So,
Yeah.
um,
Excellent.
well, let's start with that then. Let's start with the show. So, you guys, March 21st, it's March 21st as well, isn't it? Yeah. Uh,
Yep.
Mhm.
at the Gov, cracking on with Pizza Death as well, coming over from Melbourne. How did that come about? Like, how did you guys go, fuck it, let's do something together?
I can actually remember how the initial idea started. Chris and I actually randomly bumped into each other at the Beer and Barbecue Fest last year. And we were both at the
That's right.
almost the exact same point of, how you going? Yeah, we've finished writing. Yeah, we're looking to record about you. Yeah, we're thinking of recording and just we were going to record and all that. And Chris just said to me, when are you thinking of releasing? I'm like, oh, hopefully February, March. And he's like, that's going to sort of match up with us. Maybe we could think about a double album launch. And that was the initial kind of first ever conversation that it came. And the fact that's happened is just unbelievable.
Yeah, right down to the point where we're like in the same studio, right? Like you guys have been in there and then clocking in and out, and then like literally I've been readjusting the microphone to my level after Fish has used it in the studio booth. So in the vocal booth. So just little things like that have just like the planets are really aligned, I think. And I think after we did the whack and send off show,
Mm,
the Hidden Intent. We just noticed we did the Loxton show together as
yeah.
well. I noticed from the like a crowd punter's perspective that I think like both of us have. I hope this doesn't offend you, Fish, although you're not really easily offended. But like the fact we kind of have this Bogan thing going on, the Bogan vibe. You guys are like the heavier Bogan sort of death metally sort of stuff, the groovy sort of stuff, and then we're on the thrash end of the Bogan stuff. So it kind of just works really well, like both
Mm.
bands, I think. Yeah,
No, I
it's a
100% agree.
package.
Like, because yeah, like we're obviously stylistically a bit different with the type
Yeah,
style of metal we play,
sure.
but I think we obviously appeal. We can both play to the same audience,
Mm.
and the
Mm,
fact we've
yeah.
been gigging together for
Mm.
bloody over a decade now, from all the way back in the days of the Squatters Arms. Remember that beautiful place?
Yeah, that's right. That's a good memory of like meeting you guys the first time and seeing you in the crowd. And I think you tell that story better than me, man. So, man,
Yeah, the first time I saw Hidden Intent, it was Face Melter's Ball, I think it was called back then. And it was at the Squatters Arms, and I was watching the band playing in the main room on the stage, and I was like, okay, not bad. And I walked around to the back, and there was a band just playing on the floor in the back room, and it was these guys, and I hadn't heard an Adelaide band play that style of thrash metal, and I told Chris when I saw him in the under the staircase where there was like water leaking through like a live fuse box. That I was just smiling the whole time they played, and yeah, it's been that way ever since. They just make me smile when I watch them play. It's just the kind of metal I grew up on, and yeah, just been loving being able to actually play shows with them ever since. As I said, for over 10 years now.
yeah, Hell yeah, it's just that history for so long. Hey, it's yeah, really something special, eh? Yeah, the
Yeah.
brotherhood, you know. And of course, you guys having Mike Brown now in the band too. Like he's him and our drummer Paulie go way back when they were playing in a band together. So just that history in the Adelaide metal scene is just huge. So
Yeah, it's
Wow.
awesome.
Adelaide royalty, almost. Adelaide metal royalty
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
in that aspect.
definitely.
And it's not like Chris not to see an opportunity as well. He's like, wait, but we're both going to release an album at the same time. Ever the promoter that
Yeah,
Chris is.
yeah,
Right
mate.
on.
Got to seize the opportunity.
The door opens, you got to walk through it. Talking of the albums, a couple of questions for you first, Chris, and then we'll jump over to you, Fish. Um, Probably, so the album comes out March 21st. It's called Terraform. It's album number 4, number 3 with this particular lineup. I'm going to stick with the numbers because it's the first album that is a single word title. What's that about?
Yeah, that's a Paulie thing. Our drummer Paulie, he sort of had the concept behind this album. And yeah, when he came up with that suggestion of the title, that was my first thought too. It's the first time we haven't done a three-worded album title. So it kind of, yeah, ruined that tradition. Bloody drummers, you know. But yeah, it's quite a serious title, and it's the most diverse song on the album as well. That's another reason why we chose it, and it sort of summarizes all of what the album is about. It's a very angry album overall. You know, the band's gone through some significant loss over the last few years with my dad and Phil's sister, and it's quite personal and just a bit of a hate and anger towards the world in general. We're just angry dads now. I don't know, angry thrash dads. Like, but yeah, basically it's about yeah, reforming human life and stripping everything back and starting again because there's all this preconceived ideas of society of what you should do as an individual, and it sort of you know, puts pressures on the individual for no unnecessary reasons. That's kind of what it's about. Is a play on words of terraform into terraform. So. Hmm.
Yeah. You mentioned what the feedback had been for the song Ruins the Ruins, sorry, that came out, well, had its premiere on Monday. When we
Yeah.
spoken both about the last album and into this album as well, you've made a point about your vocals in this element, about getting them
Mm.
stronger and more diverse and contrasting in there. What is it that you've done to continually grow that part of your arsenal?
I've got to keep up with Fish, mate. You know, he's doing the heavy death metal-y growls. It's funny, I just over the course of writing the album, I saw Paul sort of had a request if I could do a bit more of that sort of, you know, fry screaming sort of stuff, and it's something I haven't really tapped into before. And I saw a guy online over Zoom actually for a little while to teach me how to do it, and I didn't quite get where I wanted to be. But I found something in the middle that I think works, just what I normally do, but with a bit more aggression, a bit more grit on it. But it came mainly from doing the Motorhead tribute that I play in. That
Nice.
really helped me, like, sort of, you know, we had this wacky idea of forming that tribute band, I kind of laughed at it at first. I don't play with a pick, and there's no way I can pull off the Lemmy sort of vocals, but I had a crack at first, and then I slowly just got dirtier and heavier and heavier. And I didn't have, maybe had the Jack Daniels. I didn't have the smokes, but definitely had plenty of Jack Daniels. And yeah, I just kind of tapped into this new range, and that kind of started bleeding into Hidden Intent in its own way. So a combination of what kind of Paul wanted and me doing the Motorhead thing just led me to start doing more the heavier, gritty kind of stuff. So yeah.
Do you find with it now being the third album with the same lineup that musically you can all push yourselves to really stretch each one's capability? It's not just your vocals. I mean, is Paul pushing himself? Is Phil doing new things on the guitar?
Yeah, we're all really pushing ourselves on this one. This is the first time we've done pre-production. Like we've done pre-production before, but not to this extent where we're actually wrote all the parts separately, almost like doing our own recording in a way, and then just bringing all the pieces of the puzzle together into GarageBand and just sort of, yeah, at least having a solid a guide track. That was kind of the idea with this one, is to have guide tracks, particularly vocally. So that when I'm in the studio, I'm not just second guessing it everything. I've actually got a mapped out plan of what I'm doing, and then I'm just adding a bit of sprinkle on top. But yeah, we all pushed ourselves a lot. Like Paul was the producer of the band. It's the first time we've actually mentioned that in the booklet. He was sort of more comfortable this time around having his name mentioned in there as the producer. So we've got him in there, rightfully so. He does such a great job. He's a different person when he's in the studio. I won't say much more than that, but I think you get the idea. But he really pushes to get. It's kind of like a personal trainer in the gym. That's kind of how I look at it with him. A producer in general, he really pushed the band and encouraging Phil to step outside of his comfort zone with his solos and the way he writes riffs and Paul actually edited down riffs and like restructured them on GarageBand and said, "Hey Phil, can you play this?" And little things like that to sort of like really test Phil to see if he could sort of play this other element, because the Ruins is actually the bones of that song was based on old school death metal. Obviously I'm not a death metal singer, but just structurally, so that's kind of why we really challenged ourselves with that one. There's more bass parts as well on the last album that was sort of lacking, so there's parts where I do little runs, and yeah, again, Paul's been pretty encouraging of that, so yeah.
It's good.
And his drumming is unbelievable. Drumming on this album, he's like already a fantastic drummer, but he himself has just pushed himself and excelled on this one. Just crazy fills and double kicks and whatnot. So yeah.
The I could be wrong on this, but is it when you sent it off to get mixed, you got the guy who did the Lacuna Coil album and X Order, is that right?
Yeah, we got
Yeah, how did that come about?
Dennis Coeni. So he did our last album. What happened was we kind of fell. I don't know. Probably it's probably similar to the like Headbore guys. I don't know, but he kind of fell into our lap, so to speak, because we had a guy that did the fur on our last album. The A Place of Horror single. We had a Swedish guy that did it. He's the guy that used to be the singer in a band called FKU. They're like a big Swedish thrash metal band. And we met him when we were overseas touring in Europe, and Phil actually got a tour of his studio. And then from there, he mixed the single for A Place of Horror. And then we came back to him for the album. We said, "Hey, you ready to do the album?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm actually moving house at the moment. So no, I'm not ready." And we we're like, "Oh, shit. Okay." So then I did one on a website called soundbetter.com. It's basically like a Spotify friendly sort of website affiliation where you can go find your own sound engineers and mixers and people to master your tracks. And then I put in just like, keywords, thrash metal, and I came across this guy called Dennis Coeni, and I had a look through, and he'd done some of my favorite thrash bands, Sodom, Exuma. And there was one album he did of Exumas where I really liked the drum sound. And I felt that was really lacking a bit on our last albums. We didn't quite get the mix where it could be. Great sounding, but I just felt that we needed a European mixer if we were going to start touring Europe more. I really felt like we needed to have a European mixer so we can sort of attain to that market a bit more. And then I didn't realize he did Lacuna Coil and a whole bunch of other bands. He did one of my favorite Sodom tracks. And yeah, he just charged us to a really fair rate during COVID. And then we just kept him ever since for the live recordings that we did with him and then this album. So yeah, he's very expensive, but worth it.
Okay, all right, so over to you, Fish. All right, you've been sitting there patiently. So you also have an album out of March 21st, Branded. Based on what you wrote on Facebook, it seems to be, well, you may have written it elsewhere as well, I don't know. It seems to be asking the questions of who we are and what people think we are and who we think we are in that respect. Is that a concept for the whole album? And did you make the album focusing on that, or did it just come about organically?
They're going through the lyric writing process. So the first two albums I wrote pretty much 100% of the lyrics myself. And this album has been much more letting everyone share their ideas. So I had a lot of lyric sessions with the guys, and we had a lot of lyric ideas. And it would sort of come about like free thinking, sticking up for yourself, what you believe, a lot of things like that. But then Branded was a song we wrote, and it really was like, well, that kind of is encapsulating the whole album of, are you branded from birth? Are you pre-coded? Or are you Are you who you are because of your social surroundings, like your financial struggles, your religious doctrines, your whatever you're going through in your life? And so we just sort of ask the question, like, have you been pre-coded, or are you who you are because of the environment you've been brought up in? Yeah.
Did you find, like, as you mentioned there, you did all the lyrics previously, and then this one, you're letting the other guys chip in.
Mm.
Um, how did you feel about that? Did every once in a while, did you think, hang on, I can do a better job here, or fuck off, that's
Oh,
mine?
for the we've always had a pretty good philosophy of whatever serves the song better is what we'll go through, and it's actually really good having five in the band. I mean, Chris may have the same with Hidden Intent with an odd number in three. We treat it as a complete and utter democracy. If it gets voted 3-2, 4-1, that's the idea we go with. Unless someone really vetoes the idea and really pushes it hard, we'll generally go with the majority. Particularly with Mike and Luke, we're around here writing lyrics with me like 2 months on end every week. And, and there were times where it was like, hey, Adam, Fish, your lyrics are too juvenile. And like, Mike, yours are too intellectual. No one can understand what the hell you're saying. So we've kind of got like a nice happy medium, I think, of my aggression and my, you could call it juvenile. And Mike's
More
sort of
bogan.
philosophy on the world and that. So, yeah, I think we've got a really healthy mix. And it's worked out really well, and I couldn't be happy with how the lyrics have come out on this album because of that.
Excellent. So have you I mean at the moment have you finished all your recording and mixing? Like is everything good to go?
Yeah, recording's all done. We're actually at the mastering stage now. So as I said, literally before I got onto this interview, I was listening to our final, what is hopefully our final master. And yeah, so we're very, very close. Artwork's completely done. Yeah, recording was done a while ago, so we're bees dick away.
Are we
Awesome,
gonna
man.
hear anything before the show on March 21st?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely be releasing a song. I would hope weeks before. Just depends how we go over the next. I think the next week or two is the crunch for how early we're going to release like an early song for everyone to hear. But yeah, we'll definitely be releasing a track before the album.
Cool. Now, considering obviously we haven't heard any of it, how would you describe the sound of the album that's about to drop?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we've always been known for. I mean, a lot of people have called us melodic death metal. Heavy vocals, heavy riffs, but a lot of melody and within those riffs as well. And I think we've kept the core of that, but it's the first album Mike, our bass player, and Rob, our drummer, have been off. So there's two new guys coming in with ideas, completely fresh ideas, and they're both bloody great musicians. We would sit in the writing room at Wardy's place, and all four of them can write riffs. So you got four guys. Even Rob, the drummer, can just write amazing riffs. So you've literally got four guys that can write riffs. So they would just pass the guitar around the room. I just call it pass the guitar. Like that. How about I play this? Oh, yeah, that sounds good. What if I add this? Yep, pass it around. Oh, what if I do this? So the writing on this album, the experience of that was bloody amazing. Like so many ideas and so many riffs, and just everyone in the band just being able to elevate and add something to it. And it's the most collaborative album we've done. So yeah, I think it's going to be a familiar Headbore sound, but you're definitely going to hear things that will be like, "Ooh, that's surprising," or hopefully people enjoy it. But no, I'm really, it's the most excited I've been about anything I've recorded in my life. So that should be a pretty good indication, I would say.
Really good, really good. When you were saying that everyone was passing the guitar around, going, "That's a really good riff," all I was hearing was, "That's a really good spliff." That's all I was hearing. Passing it around.
Probably is both. It's probably both.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
More of an
So
alcohol band, but you know.
choose your poison. So when you guys then do the show on the 21st, what's then Headbore's game plan after that?
We definitely want to do Eastern States. We want to release more singles, more film clips off the album, really push the quality of what we think we've written on this album. Yeah, so it will be, yeah. We haven't got ridiculous aspirations just because of the age we are. Like, we would love to try and do what Hidden Intent do. Like, it's just absolutely amazing how hard those guys work and how far they travel and what they can do. We're probably a little bit more constrained with what we can and can't do. But yeah, definitely looking to push it as hard as we can with as many singles and film clips as we can, and yeah, hit the eastern states and hopefully play some bigger festivals, get more international supports, just really push our name and brand as hard as we can. Yeah.
Good, good, good. Nice segue as well. So, Chris, um, what is your? I already have an inkling of what your plans are for later on this year, but what are Hidden
Yeah, yeah,
Intent's
yeah.
touring plans after the album drops? Are you allowed to announce any of it now, or?
Oh no, it's cool, man. Not at all. I can go hard as I want. Nah. We're basically just going to try and hit up some places we haven't played before, and then revisit some places and just get a better, hopefully get a better lineup, a better reception, a bigger, a more filled out room, so to speak. We've got some inkling that although there is still your traditional thrash vibe on this album. Like we're still a thrash band. It is a heavier, darker direction. So we have an inkling that there might be that. Phil said it the other night. It was pretty funny. He's like, "But that one guy that will lose as a fan, the suicidal tendencies hat and the battle jacket, will gain 10 new people." And there will be a
Yeah.
bit of that, I think, to a degree. I don't personally think so because of the way I sing, I'm not a heavy, growly, death metally kind of singer, like a lot of the thrash bands do with the high screams and stuff. I think I'll always be the guy that will keep it within the Aussie thrash realm just because of the way I sing, although it is a lot heavier on this one. So who knows? But we're doing Europe and the UK, as you probably know about already, in August and September. We've got 3 festivals already. So that's pretty cool. Some like small sort of DIY kind of festivals. We've got Deprivation Fest and which is in Swindon. I don't know where that is. You know where that
Swindon.
is, but I don't know, no idea where it is, but you know where it is. We're playing the day that Cancer are headlining, which is pretty cool, pretty reputable band. And then we're doing another festival, which is my favorite title for a festival. It's called Beer Mageddon. And that's sort of like a small British one, but I've heard it's a lot of fun. And then we're doing, just got announced this one in Serbia called Hellhammer Festival, and that's with Destroyer
Oh,
666. So that's pretty cool, which is funny because our drummer's from Wales, and apparently Warslut, the singer, apparently he's originally from Whyalla, or he brought up in Whyalla. So that should be interesting. I'm sure Paul will have a bit of a good chat about the old days. And then we're just gonna try and do some shows and places we haven't played and just see how the reception is and see if we can tap into a slightly new market for us. That's pretty much our plan, really, and try and climb up the bill of some of the shows and festivals we've already played as well. Just see if we can get ourselves a better slot or better position on the lineup, so to speak. All that wanky stuff. So yeah,
the reason why you do it, yeah. So,
yeah,
because you've done America and you've done Europe twice, I think. Maybe done Europe a bit more. Yeah,
yeah.
twice, yeah.
America twice and Europe 3 times.
Three times,
Yeah,
right. So how
yeah.
do you like? I
Mm.
mean, you use the terminology yourself, so I'm not being a dick. Where you said it's a bogan thrash metal, which is
Yeah,
bogan's a
sure.
very Australian thing. So how do you find that translates when you go to America and you go to Europe?
It's a bit more like even more novelty. Like it's like in the States, it's like, people love that Crocodile Dundee, Dead End Destiny album. They're just like, because I forgot how big Crocodile Dundee is in the States.
Yeah.
And then you go there and it's just, we got all the comments about that and all these things. And it was just like, heaps of that going on as well. And Europe's a little trickier. I think they don't know a lot of the Australian terminology, but just because of the way I talk and the flanny and stuff, we still go down pretty well. And surprise, we played there and I just thought we'd be another, Ocker band, but like people just, really frothed on it. And I know that the chats are pretty big in the UK and the bands that do the whole Aussie bogan thing. So very surprised about the reception sometimes, given it's we still like to think we're play our instruments well. So yeah,
Okay, so this is kind of the real type bit where I ask a real like fucking basic question, but it's also a question that very often throws people. So I hope you're ready. Uh, who wants to go first? You or Fish? You can go. You're already here, Chris. All right. So, uh, for people who may not have seen yourself or Headbore before, you got time to think of this now, Fish. Why should we go to the show on the 21st of March?
Because we bring it. We go hard. I still get nervous every show. That's how much I care about it. So it's not just me going through the motions as a band. We have a lot of fun. There's that humor element to the band. You're gonna have heaps of fun. You're gonna get in the pit. You're gonna have a good time with your mates. There's the camaraderie there. There's the circle pit action. There's some hates. There's all the things you want at a metal gig, but without the sort of seriousness of it as well. So not to be missed, mate. Not to be missed. And you might even see as well, for those who've never seen us, comes out at certain shows like this one, the double launch, is our inflatable drop bear mascot that makes an appearance for certain gigs. So I mean, what show do you get to see a inflatable drop bear do a stage dive into the pit? I mean, come on.
Nice. Yes. Okay, Fish, you had 35 seconds then to think of something. Why should we go to the Headbore Hidden Intent show on March 21st?
Oh, so I got distracted by the inflatable drop air because I've seen that a couple of times and it is bloody good fun. And you do not see a person in the room that isn't smiling. It's absolutely
Yes.
fantastic. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, mate, just for us on stage, we think we bring energy, sheer brutality. There's those melodic parts that you love, but you can bang your head to it. It's not like death, 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 where it's just 100 miles an hour at a time. There are so many parts and riffs in our song. We all just got to be banging your head and have a brilliant time. Serious about our music, but God, we have some fun on stage in between songs and even during songs. Love having a drink, love getting amongst the crowd, drinking with them, be watching Hidden Intent after that. My favourite band to play gigs with, we're both going to bring it. And yeah, we're so proud of our new songs, and we think they're going to kick everyone in the ass. I can tell you that much.
Brilliant.
Hell
Answers.
yeah.
Brilliant answers. Okay. Unless you guys got anything else you want to add, I'm good with that. You want to add anything? Any use?
Oh, I just wanted to say, like, yeah, if you're on the fence about going to the show, I highly encourage you to do so. Just like it's not many like how often do you get to see two reputable Adelaide metal bands team up together for an album launch? I mean, come on. And you got Pizza Death on the bill. I wanted to talk about them too because they're our good friends, Pizza Death. Phil is a bit of a fanboy of Pizza Death. He often wears a Pizza Death shirt on stage. He loves all those comical, kind of gimmicky bands. And but Pizza Death do it really well. And you would have seen at Froth and Fury, they even had Sneaky Cheetah like give them some sponsorship pizzas to hand out to the crowd. I don't know if you guys saw that. So, but they just do it so well. They're so much fun. They do a wall of death with people that like anchovies on pizza on one side and people that like pineapple on their pizza on the other side, and then they make them run into each other. It's pretty funny. And then yeah, I just think they're such a great band and do the whole crossover sort of like style really well. And I like to say Denizen too, up and coming. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but up and coming, yeah, young band who are like really good, and they're like 18, 19, and they're like blasting and doing all sorts of stuff. So it's just incredible to see a band like that. We always like to have a young band open up, don't we, Fish? Always like to have a young band open the night and bring all their friends and that sort of thing, mate. So I'm sure you got something else you'd like to say.
Oh, echoing a little bit of Chris there, but I can't remember the last time two Adelaide metal bands did a dual launch together. So that's amazing. The fact we get to do it with Hidden Intent, band we've been playing with forever, the energy that both of our bands will bring as long as Pizza Death and Denizen, and to be playing in the main room in the Gov for local launch is bloody amazing. So get down there. You know it's going to be a fucking good night. So let's have a good one.
Yeah. OzTix, March 21st. Under $30 to go see a double launch in the main room at the Gov. I don't think any show at the Gov in the main room is under $30. So
It's a
pretty
Friday
bloody
night
good,
as
mate.
well.